Kiitos Kirmo Vartiovaara. Jokainen meistä haluaa olla onnellinen. Mutta mitä onnellisuus itse kullekin meistä tarkoittaa? Kielellä ja vuorovaikutuksella saattaa olla vahva vaikutus kokemukseen elämänlaadusta. Onnellisuuden avaimista tulee kertomaan Laura Visapää ja The Happiness Project.
Thank you all. I'm very happy to be here and to represent the Happiness Project. Finland is a very happy country, right? For example, the United Nations World Happiness Report from 2015, which is reported in this CNN report, tells that we are the 6th happiest country in the world. And now that I was walking here, I saw that the new Yliopistolehti, the university magazine, says that we are the 2nd happiest country in Europe. And there are several of these kind of research. You can always read that Finland is somewhere in the top 10, so everything is going really well. Unfortunately, there are although different kind of statistics. There are statistics that are not that positive. Finland also ranks very high in statistics that have to do with depression, bullying, racism, and so on. And this gives a different kind of picture of the country, a country that is not necessarily doing so well. So our challenge is this. If the country writes high in international reports on happiness, why does this not turn into tangible everyday happiness? What is the thing that we are missing? What is the missing link here? What is that the mainstream happiness research is not able to measure when they talk about happiness? What is happiness to begin with? And what is it that we should really be looking at if we want to try to understand well-being and happiness? To start with, to talk about happiness is not in any way new or original. Actually, at the moment, there is this huge happiness industry that sells us all these products that tell us how to become happy. They have turned basically happiness into a commodity. They seem to have a very similar idea that is very individual-centered and very goal-oriented. You, as an individual, have to find a way to happiness. You have to get there alone. It's up to you and your psychological qualities. If you follow these 10 steps, you will become happy. Okay, but the problem in this approach is, of course, that it makes this very stressful. And if you're not able to become happy, you're a failure. So we like to suggest that these solutions are very insufficient, or if not even harmful, by creating all this nervousness and anxiousness about that everyone has to be happy. There is this great goal of individual happiness that everyone has to be happy and do that by themselves. Okay, what is our solution then? Our solution is very simple. We want to change the perspective from subjective well-being to intersubjective well-being. And our solution, our answer to that question, what is it that we have been missing all along in these happiness researches, is language in interaction. Language and interaction lie at the heart of our sociality, and everything that we do basically when we connect with other people happens through language, and it's actually pretty astonishing that this has basically been ignored in happiness research. There is this great database that is called the World Happiness Database that has over 10,000 scientific research articles on happiness. And when we're trying to find any kind of hits on language and interaction, we didn't find almost any, maybe 3, maybe 5. So that is something that is missing, and it's really surprising considering that our daily activities happen through language in interaction with other people. We argue with people, we tell stories, we gossip, we connect with people, we disconnect from one another. We create forums, we create groups, we show who is part of our group, who belongs to the we group, who belongs to the other group. So our well-being is constituted in interaction with others, and this happens primarily through language. So how is it that we have missed this? What we suggest is language is something so automatic, so common, so habitual, we don't see it. It's like our blind spot, although everything in our life happens through interaction. So what we want to do is to create awareness of these daily practices and to show people the power that lies in the production and changing of these kind of very mundane, very simple everyday practices. And if we become more aware of our interactional habits, we can affect and develop not only how we interact ourselves, but how we can react to hurtful behavior as well. Okay, so how do we get there? Although the role of language and interaction in well-being has not been understood, there are methods that work. There are methods that make people happier. However, what we want to say is that there is little understanding of how these methods actually work and why they work. And our point is that what is common to these methods that make people happier, knowingly or not knowingly, they all rely on interactional skills. And our goal is to carry out detailed research to show what happens when these methods are applied and what actually happens in people's interactional and linguistic behavior. What is the change to actually get there? Here, I have time to mention only one method. We collaborate with theater projects that are conducted by drama professionals and Helsinki City Social Services. In these projects, young people with mental and social challenges produce and perform a play and go through a series of exercises with the aim of learning new constructive interactional practices and diminishing harmful ones. And the research on this kind of data collected from this and other similar projects will help us understand how interactional habits and different everyday technologies, such as expressions, the use of the body, etc., can be changed to improve well-being, not only in these settings, but in everyday life as well. And then the idea is that the more research we get, then we bring it to a wider audience, and finally we introduce it to the national curriculum in basic education. Okay, the type of impact we have concrete impact on the people who participate in the theater projects. Number 2, scientific impact that comes out of understanding the interactional mechanisms that are used in these successful practices. We have applied impact as a result of designing research-based tools for educations in different contexts. And last but not least, societal impact, because all of the society can change. Recent findings in neuroscience suggest that our brain is really flexible, and it's restructured all the time according to the experiences that we have, and linguistic and interactional habits are a very important layer of experience. These habits are also relatively controllable once we become aware of them, and they can be used as a means of shaping experience and shaping our brain. In this way, if we can change our non-constructive interactional practices, we can change the felt quality of life, not only socially, but also psychologically. And if we can do this, the impact could be immense. Thank you.